Hello Room 17 for your first real video tutorial. The idea behind this is you take your time, watch the concepts and then do the questions next door. Sometimes you'll need pen and paper and you have the opportunity to upload your working. Sometimes you'll just be able to answer the questions. Completely up to you, but looking forward to seeing how you go. So we're into division over the next week or two because hopefully what will happen is we'll become more confident with our division, which means we can do lots of operations with division, multiplication, addition, and subtraction. Division is the art of sharing. Usually you're sharing a bigger number with a smaller number. For example, a nice easy way to start this off is sharing the number 4. Let's say we have 4 lollies and we're sharing them between 2 people. So when I share 4 lollies between 2 people, we're going to have one here, one here, one here, and one here. So it means it works out as 2 groups of 2. So the answer would be 2. The reason I'm using this format just here is because you will be using it throughout your division. Let's try another one, a little bit trickier this time. We're going to divide 15 cars, whoa, there's so many cars, between 3 people. Now what I've enlarged here for you is the 3 times table. Because we're dividing by 3, it's really great to have the 3 times table down here to use as what we like to call a bus stop method. The idea behind the bus stop is you travel along the bus route until you find the number that's accurately where you want to be or just below where you want to be. And I'll show you what I mean by that later. But right now, we're going to see how our bus travels and see if we can get to 15 using the 3 times table because we're dividing by 3. So we're up to 3. Our second stop is 6. That's 2 times 3. Third stop is 9. That's 3 times 3. Fourth stop is 12. That's 4 times 3. Fifth stop is 15. And that's what we need. So 5 times 3 is 15, which means when we divide 15 by 3, we get the number 5. Now notice that I am putting it above the number 5 to make sure it's in line because we've got the ones column just here and the ones column here. So make sure they're in the ones column. Otherwise, I might get confused. I put it in the tens column and it might be 50, which is completely wrong. Definitely 15 does not go divide by 3 50 times. Excellent. You'll notice I've enlarged the 4 times table now because we're going to be dividing by 4 this time. And let's say we're dividing by 4 classrooms in the school. And this time, the 4 classrooms in the school are hoping to share 25 pupils. So we've got 25 pupils and there are 4 classrooms for them and we're hoping to share them equally. Now, I'm going to add one more 4 times table onto my side here for the bus stop method, and we'll do the same again. We're going to figure out how many times 25 can be divided by 4 classrooms. And we'll go down our bus stop very quickly. We're going to the first stop. 1 times 4 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. So we're seeing how many times we can find 25. 3 times 4, the third stop is 12. 16. 20 is our 5th stop on the bus. 24 is our 6th, which is very close. 28 is our 7th stop. Now, 28 is too far. We've gone too far. We've passed the number that we need. So we track back to the stop before it, which is 24. Okay? What I'm going to do is just put a line under there, 24, to know that that's where we're stopping. And I know, first things first, that we've gone 6 stops. Okay, so 25 divided by 4 is certainly 6 equal times. But remember, we've not done it equally because we've not hit 24. We've had to go to 25. So if we're on 24, there is 1 remainder because we're getting to 25. Because 24 plus 1 equals 25. So what I could do is write remainder 1. Because technically speaking, and I'm so sorry for this poor student, let's call that poor student John. Poor old John has not managed to get himself into a classroom because 6 students have equally been shared by 4 classrooms. 4 times 6 equals 24. We've got 1 poor student John left over. Sad face, John. Alrighty, I'm going to whack into the 5 times table, the 5 multiplications. The multiple of 5 are on the right-hand side here. And we're going to keep going. We're going to divide by 5. And this time, there are 5 swimming pools. Swimming pools there, 5 swimming pools. And indeed, there are going to be 32 slides. So I've manufactured 32 slides. I'm figuring out how best to share them around the swimming pools in Perth. And I want to know how many times equally we can share them. All right. So let's have a look at this and see how we go. I'm going to head down my bus stop scenario here. 1, 2, 3rd stop, 4th stop, 5th stop. Remember that I'm going to 32, nothing over. So 1st stop, 2nd stop, 3rd stop, 3 times 5 is 15. 4th stop, 4 times 5 is 20. 5th stop, 6th stop, 7th stop. And look, 35 is too many. We're only going to go to 32, so we're going to track back to the 6th stop here. So we're on 30, which means 6th stop, we mean we've gone 6 times. And the remainder, how many slides are left over? Well, there are 2 slides left over because we got to 30 and that went in 6 times equally. 6 times 5 is 30, but we've got 2 left over because we're actually going to go try and get to 32. Now this time, and this is where I want you to practice, instead of writing remainder 2, as in 2 slides left, what we're going to do is break that 2 down and try and work out if we can split it evenly with a decimal. So what I want you to do is add a decimal at the end of this and just put a 0 in there, okay? So at the moment, we've still got the number 32, but because we've got a remainder 2 that I've just told you about, we're actually going to sneak that remainder 2 in here to make this 20 tenths, okay? Because when you've got a whole number of 2, that still means it's 20 tenths. So that's why I've put 2 here, okay? So technically now we've got 2, 0, meaning 20 tenths. 20 tenths is the same as saying 2 wholes. And now we're just going to do the same method and put that at the top here. Decimal point always lives in the same spot. So decimal here, which means we'll put 1 just here as well. And now we're going to divide 20, or 20 tenths, but 20 by 5. 20 tenths divided by 5. Same method. Let's have a go down the bus. I can't wait to join on this bus. Okay, first stop is 5. Second stop is 10. Third stop, 15. Fourth stop is 20. Wait, that's what we need. So fourth stop, 1, 2, 3, 4 times 5 equals 20. So that is what we need. So we're going to put a 4 at the top because 5 multiplied by 4 is 20. And that looks like we've not any remainder. It goes in perfectly because it's in the 5 times table, which means, and it sounds a bit silly, but what I'm going to do is these 5 swimming pools are going to get 6 and 0.4 of a slide each. So it sounds a bit silly, but let's just pretend for a second. Here are my 2 slides that we've got left. Well, they look like division signs, but whatever. And each of them are going to get a 0.4 of a slide. So here's your first swimming pool. There's 0.4. Here's your second swimming pool, there's 0.4. Here's your third, there's 0.4, and there's 0.4. So technically, all of these 5 swimming pools are getting 0.4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. They're getting 0.4 of a slide. This is a bit of a longer video this time, and hopefully you take your time with the questions. Final division I'll do with you, and the same method will apply, is I'm going to divide a bigger number by the number 7. All right, so let's whack 7 in there. And this time it's going to be 7 teachers. And what we're going to do is share 25 pieces of chalk with 7 teachers. Now, you'll see I've left the decimal point here. I promise you will need it. So I'm actually going to put a decimal point in now so we remember. Alrighty, same deal applies. Let's rock on the bus and see how we go. So we are trying to get to the number 25. Don't go over 25. And we're going through the bus stop. So 7, 14 is our second stop. 21 is getting close to 25, third stop. And 28 is over. So we're going to first of all go to 21, the third stop. And we're going to put 3 just there indeed. Okay, 3 is what we're doing so far. and 3 is where we're at. But remember that we're not finished yet because we're looking at a remainder. We got to 21, but we needed to get to 25. So I know there is 4 remainder, which means I'm going to put 0 here. And that 4 that's remaining, I'm going to jump that over there. Because technically that's 40 tenths. And 40 tenths is the same as saying 4.0. So 40 tenths is now here, and we've got our decimal point in line, and we'll have a go and see where we land this time. So we're now trying to make the number 40, and I'll do this one in blue pen so you can see the difference. Going through the bus stops once again, we've gone to 7 to 14. Our third stop is 21. That's where we stopped before to get 25, but we're going to 40 this time, so we're going to keep going. 28, 35, 42 is too many, so we're going to go back to this bus stop, and that is 5 times 7. So 35 is where we're at right now. 35 is the bus stop we'll use. And how many times did 7 multiply by to get to 35? Well, it goes in 5 times. And the remainder, we're trying to get to 40, the remainder is 5. So we're going to add another 0 in here and put the remainder 5 here. The reason why it's 5 remainder, once again, is because we got to 35, we had to get to 40, so we had 5 left over. Technically, we had 5 tenths left over. I'm going to transfer that over to the hundredths. So now we've got 50 hundredths. We'll pretend it's just 50. And same applies. We're going to keep going down our bus. So we're trying to figure out how many bus stops we need to get to 50. We're going to go 7, 14. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I might need to add one on for us. 7 times 49, and 56 is the 8th bus stop. And we can see there that 56 is way too far. We need to get to 50. So 49 is a great one. So we've gone to 49. I'm going to do this in green this time. 49. And that is how many stops on the 7 times table? Well, it's 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. So again, we're looking at 7 now. 7. And how many left over? How many remainder? Well, we got from 49. We need to get to 50. So technically speaking, we had 3 left over. Now, team, I'm going to level with you here. You could keep going and keep going and keep going with this. Unfortunately, you'd never be able to find the answer because dividing by 7 is very tricky. And unfortunately, you won't be able to finalize this. You'll just keep going on and keep going on and keep going on. So dividing by 7 is quite tricky unless you're using decimals as well. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, don't worry. Have a go at the questions next door. It's been a longer video this time. 12 minutes is too long. So I promise I won't do it this long again. 5 questions. If you want to show your working, you can. I just want to see how you go with simple division and then division just like the ones I've shown you. Good luck.